Hey guys, welcome back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing just a very basic, everyday, full face makeup. This is not going to be extremely colorful. This is not going to be a full glam makeup. This is strictly just going to be I need to run to the store, but I want coverage or I want to look a little refreshed. So my face was already completely clean. And I did go ahead and apply my moisturizer and my primer. Now for my moisturizer, what I use is the Daily Hydration Moisturizer. I always get that messed up, by e.l.f. This is a 2.53 ounce container. This will last a pretty good while. The moisturizer itself doesn't have a very high fragrance to it. It's just a really clean smell, but it is extremely silky. And it does rub in really well. My primer is e.l.f. Poreless Primer. It's in the pink bottle. This is only 0.47 ounces. However, you only have to use about a pea size of this for it to get all over your face really, really well. So this, I believe, is $6 at Walmart. Yeah, this is $6. They do have a larger container, but it's 10. So, I mean, I do change my moisturizers, my primers often. So, I just get the smaller of the two. I also went ahead and misted my face with the e.l.f. Makeup Set Spray. This is a very fine mist. It is very awesome. This is probably one of the best mist that I have ever found in any product, but it does set your makeup. Now, even if I'm not putting on any type of foundation whatsoever, I will still use these two products right here, because obviously the moisturizer moisturizes your face, which is a good thing if you're going to be in the sun, and then the primer protects your face. It kind of, it protects your pores is what it does. So I go ahead and use those regardless if I'm putting actual full makeup on or not. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the foundation that I use is the Neutrogena Hydra Boost. The shade that I wear is Nude 40. I bought this at CVS and it was actually like $17 and something, but this does not dry my face out like most foundations do. And this is supposed to be up to 24-hour wear. It does have what they call a doe foot on the end of it, so you can apply as much or as little as you want. And everybody applies their foundation differently. I just do this so that I make sure that I have full coverage. And then I will take a makeup brush and go back over and blend everything in. There is really no pattern to this or anything else. I'm just making sure that I have as much coverage as I can get without going overboard. This foundation is very silky. It smells very good. And I do believe that you can probably get it cheaper online, just being honest with you. But I was kind of desperate and needed some, so I just went and picked some up. So the foundation brush that I use is an e.l.f. brush. Yes, it does need to be cleaned. I do understand that. But I've had this brush for quite a while. I only paid like $3 for it at Walmart. So I lightly spray my brush with my setting spray. And if you keep seeing me look down, my mirror is right here because I can't rely on that camera, as I found out in my Ipsy video. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. But I'm just going to take my brush and put my foundation on. And I would really classify this Hydra Boost honestly as a medium to full coverage. It is buildable, so if you put a coat on and then you're like, hey, I'm really looking for more coverage than this, let it dry and you can put some more on, and it's not that big of a deal. It stays really well. If you're sweating or anything like that, it usually will stay pretty good. This plus the combination of the makeup set. And you know, a lot of people, I've watched a video online, and you know, I really feel like that there's a lot of women that have facial piercings, and you know, they pay like a lot of attention to putting more makeup around their piercings, like so that it's not you know, off or something like that. I really don't pay that much attention to mine. I just kind of put my makeup on as if I always would, with or without my studs in there. And then, of course, you saw me, I just clean them off a little bit. So I'm going to let this sit for just a moment. For my everyday look, I do not do concealer and multiple layers upon layers of stuff, because if I'm doing an everyday makeup, just being honest with you, I'm probably not feeling like doing a full face glam makeup anyway. So I'm going to put my setting powder on. And I'll show you what kind of setting powder I use in just a minute. Okay, so my blush brush, excuse me, is actually a MAC brush. I got this for Christmas several years ago, and the majority of my brushes that I use are MAC brushes, except for my foundation brush and a couple of eyeshadow brushes. So what I use for my setting powder is the e.l.f. HD powder. It is not white. It is translucent, but it also has a little bit of shimmer to it, so it's not like that I am just putting on skin tone powder. It does have a little shimmer to it. I will use this, and I will actually wear this even in the wintertime. I think this may be $8 at Walmart if I'm not mistaken, but there again, all of the prices do change very, very often. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my brows real quick. Again, guys, please keep in mind, this is just an everyday, I am running to the supermarket, running to the mall, pick up my kids look. So this is not going to be like completely in depth. This is just the quick routine that I would do. So for my brows, I am actually going to use my product that I got in my June Ipsy bag. It is the Benefit Give Me Brow Gel. I'm sorry that's blurry. I think it might be the color a little bit. And this is the neutral light brown is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead, and that brush is so tiny. I love that brush. You know, I think that this is a good product. It does definitely tame your brows. I don't think that it's a good filler. If I'm just being completely honest with you, I don't think that it's a good filler. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you have somebody that does have, you know, not discoloration, but if you have somebody that does have some spots in their eyebrows that aren't what they used to be, or they do have some places where their eyebrows are just not growing back like they should be, or they have a scar or something like that, I don't think that this fills in as best as I have seen some products. But there again, I mean, it does, I mean, I feel like that it does the job. I just don't feel like that it fills in gaps as well. It does give you a uniform brow. It does make it darker, and you can shape them well. I just feel like that you might possibly need to go back in there, excuse me, with a pencil or something like that to actually fill in those spots where it is needed. Now, I am not the most comfortable person with concealer. I am still learning to use concealer. So when I do something like this, Q-tips are my friend. And what I mean by that is I take Q-tips and I just go back over my lines really quick and make sure that nothing is out of place. And I'll go ahead and tell you, my eyebrows don't match. It has been a very long time since my eyebrows matched for some reason, and I don't really know why. I get them professionally waxed, and she says that they're even, and I completely believe her. I really do. But for some reason, I believe that this brow sets differently right here than this one does, because this one always looks flat on one side to where this one is rounded. So I really don't know what that is. I just shape them as best I can with gel or pomade or whatever I have, and just leave it at that. I do still use eyeshadow primer, and today what I am using is I'm using the Ulta Beauty Tinted Eye Primer. This is champagne. It does have a sheen to it. It is silky. It is it has, I don't want to say glittery. It's not glittery. It's just shimmery. That's the word I'm looking for. And I have a very, very small beauty blender to apply it with. I used to do this with my finger. You can do it with your finger. It's not a big no-no not to do it with your finger. But if you have fingernails, it can be a pain, because you're going to usually take half of your eyebrow off trying to get it on there. And then you're going to take the foundation off your nose. And then you're going to poke your nose and everything else. So I just started using a beauty blender here shortly, and I feel like I don't waste as much product either. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of it goes into the sponge that I'm just in denial about, but for the most part, I feel like I don't waste as much product as when I would put it on my finger, because it wouldn't go under my fingernail, etc., etc. So now I am going to find some very neutral eyeshadow. I'm going through my brush bag if you're wondering what I'm doing here. I'm going to find some very neutral eyeshadow, because that's the look that we're going for today. And by neutral, I don't want it to be just completely dense, but I don't want it to be overwhelming either. So we're just going to see if we can find a neutral eyeshadow in here. Let's see. This is one of my favorite eyeshadows that I use a lot. It is e.l.f. Baked. Again, I don't know why that's not focusing. I'm sorry. But it is an e.l.f. Baked eyeshadow. This is actually a pretty big pot. You can see what color it is. It's almost like a rose gold color. It does have a little bit of a sheen to it. But I'm actually just going to use this all over my lid. And the brush that I'm using is a MAC brush as well. I don't know what number it is. I can tell you in a minute. But as you can see, that's just enough sheen to show that I have something on my eye. But it's not overwhelming. Now, again, if I was not going for just a very neutral everyday look, I would be worried a lot more about my crease, my lines, and where everything was placing at. But, I mean, I'm not. I'm just going as simple as I can possibly go. So the brush that I was using, like I said, is a MAC brush. It's a blending brush, I do believe. And this is a 217 SE from MAC. My powder brush is a 16 SE. So now that I've got that on, and I always keep my powder brush handy so that I can do that little number in case I have a eyeshadow that is flaky or something to that degree. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, I have a sheen palette down here. I actually got this palette, if you want the truth, on Wish. This is what the palette looks like. Obviously you can tell that it is a translucent, and here's what's in it. These are not very bold colors. These are not very pigmented at all. They are pretty much just highlighters. As a matter of fact, that's what it's called. It is Aurora Highlight Palette. So, I'm going to go in here, and I think that I'm going to actually use some of this yellow right here and get some on my brush. This is an e.l.f. smudge brush. I prefer to use this brush for my brow line up here because it is so thin. But I'm just going to fill that little bit in. And I mean, it almost looks like the same that I already have on my lid. It's a little bit of a sheen instead of a very defined color. So, and you know, guys, when it comes to brushes, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I understand that some brushes are made a certain way to do a certain thing, and that's great and all, but you know what? When you learn how to do your makeup your way, use the brush that works the best for you. You know, if you want to use this brush for your eyelid because it's flat and you can pat it down on there, then I mean that's great. You need to use what you feel like you need to use, and not necessarily worry about the name of the brush. I know there's several makeup connoisseurs that wouldn't say that, but I mean, I just really don't worry about it. I use what I need to use right there and then. So I'm going to go back to my eyes right now, and I'm going to put some eyeliner and some mascara on. The eyeliner and mascara is going to be the two products that I will not leave the house without, travel-wise. I'm not saying just run to the store, but travel-wise. I do have some liquid eyeliner in there from my June Ipsy bag, but I haven't had time to really play with it yet. So I'm just going to go back to the No Budge retractable eyeliner, and this is from e.l.f. This is maybe $3, I think, but it's really awesome. It does retract, and it goes on really smooth, but yet if you do mess something up, you can take it back off. Now, I will go ahead and say that even with a neutral look, I am a very big eyeliner fan. Like I just said, I will very rarely ever leave the house without makeup and eyeliner, or mascara and eyeliner, because you can put on mascara and eyeliner and completely change your look. As a matter of fact, you can put on mascara and eyeliner, not do anything else to your face at all, and look like a completely different person. So, mascara and eyeliner, don't know why I keep saying makeup, mascara and eyeliner are two very good products to always have. And if you mess up, if you make a wrong line, take a Q-tip and fix it. It's really not that big of a deal. Another trick that I learned here recently, actually from another beauty blogger, if you don't want to put black eyeliner on your bottom lid, but you don't want to just leave it neutral, get you a white eyeliner. This is actually LA Colors matte white metallic eyeliner, and it just gives a sheen, and it also brightens up your eye a little bit. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I used to think that this was a joke, but it's really not. Using white eyeliner really does brighten up your eyes. And I know that you're looking at that one eye and you're like, well, you look like you're trying to be a superhero. No, what's going to happen is when I put my mascara on, everything's going to blend in and it's going to open my eyes up a little bit. So going to mascara, my favorite mascara, absolutely ride or die, is Benefit They're Real. Now, this is a travel size. This is a full size. It is about $25 for one of these. This was just a gift in the last one that I bought, but it will last about 3 to 4 months depending on how much you wear it. This mascara is awesome, and what I mean by that is I don't have a problem with drugstore mascaras. There's a lot out there that's great. A lot of great marketing, a lot of great prices, but here's the problem. They are clumpy, or most of them are clumpy. I can't say all because there is some that are pretty good, but most of them have a clumping factor. This one does not. This one is not as pliable as it should be because I'm going to be honest, I'm about to run out. But this is very pliable. It is very black. Curls your eyelashes. It makes them full. It makes them separate. And again, I understand that 25 bucks for mascara is a lot. So I fully do understand, but for me personally, this is just my ride or die mascara. I've used this for about 2 years now. And I can't say that I have ever found anything to replace it. And I used to be a very, very diehard MAC fan. Don't get me wrong, I still am. I still really, really do love MAC products. But even their mascara won't do this. And I know that the camera really isn't showing that much except for my bottom lash. But I mean, the top lash is significant too. You just can't see it because my eyeliner is so thick. But after I get all of this done, I am going to get my angled brush. Again, this is a MAC brush, and this is a 168 SE brush. And I'm going to go over here to my blush palette. This is a Profusion palette. I got this on 50% off sale at Walgreens right after Christmas. So I paid $2.50 for it, and it works just fine to me. So I'm going to go in with, here's the palette. I don't know if I showed it to you, I'm sorry. But I'm going to go in with some of this mauve blush. And then I just take my hand and blend it in. And guys, it does look exceptionally bright because of the light and because of my shirt, but it's not overwhelming. I promise you it's not. Granted, I know that I am white. Porcelain, to be completely honest with you, that's my tag is porcelain. But it's not overwhelming. It's really not. It's not overwhelming at all. And then I am going to go back in with the same brush and use some of the highlighter right here and put it right above my blush on my cheek line. I don't really think that you need to blend out the highlighter. I mean, I feel like that's part of the highlighting is in that particular area. But there again, that is completely up to you. And I just usually do a streak here, a streak down here, and then do so. Most of my products you will find in the upcoming videos are actually very cheap and very realistic products. So I feel like this is good. So I'm going to go ahead and mist with my setting spray. And if I'm just running into town or something, usually I am not going to use setting spray as much as I have today, but it is exceptionally hot. So I know that when I go outside, what's going to happen. And I'm just going to finish up real quick with the Pixie by Petra lip gloss. I got this in my Ipsy bag. Again, it smells like peppermint, but it's really soft. It's not sticky and gives you just a really cool sheen. So this would be my everyday run to the store just to run an errand, and I'll probably just put a baseball hat on over my hair. But yeah, it was quick, it was simple. I know that I did a little bit of talking in the beginning, so you're looking at about 25 minutes to do this if you do it as detailed as I did, which I don't feel like was very detailed at all. If you have any questions, comments, or anything, you are more than welcome to post something in the comments, and I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.